All right, I call to order the Chattanooga City Council for our Tuesday, August 25th meeting. If you would please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I think I will just move the agenda. We do not have any special presentations today. Can I get a motion on the minutes, please?
So move.
Okay, the minutes will stand without objection. All right, council, let's go ahead and start discussing our agenda for today. We will have a Community Development Committee meeting after all of our discussion. So we've got some ordinances on final reading. If you have any questions or comments on those, please hit your light. I intend to take those as a package. And council, I will remind you that both of those items, Councilman Harvey?
I'm sorry, are we on planning?
No, not yet.
Okay, apologize.
But almost there. Just, I'm going to keep you green. So the Parks and Public Works and wastewater items A and B are both in District 2. We passed them last week, and I'm going to take them as a package, and I would appreciate someone making a motion to approve those. All right, so Councilman Harvey.
Under planning, is Karen here? Karen, have we heard anything from item C, the developer? I know they had kind of ghosted us.
I called the number we had on record and talked to Mr. Postel, who said that he would pass that information along to his son. I mentioned the 3:30 date today, mentioned there was a recommendation to deny because they had not shown up at Planning Commission along with the staff recommendation. And I said he could contact our office if he had any questions, but we've not heard anything to my knowledge.
Okay, all right. In that case, Madam Chair, I plan to deny that case.
Okay. Councilwoman Burrs.
Thank you, Chairwoman. Item F, the engineer called me, and they are having some issues with utilities that they're working on that is delaying them wanting to get this approved. So they asked if we could defer this until September 9th. So I'll be requesting a deferral.
Okay. And council, there is a case in District 2. We've had quite a bit of study and discussion of that one. So as chair, I anticipate that I would be requesting from council a motion to deny this item. Okay, any other questions or comments about planning? All right, looks like we're good. Heading into resolutions and economic development. Councilman Clark.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I've got a question about the use of this transfer of the money by the Industrial Development Board. I'm not really sure if I quite got a definitive answer on it, but you don't have to come to the podium to present. But the purposes are unspecified. And I like to have some general idea about, because I'm still learning about what that board does and how they spend money, but if it's to be used for economic development purposes, but not specified, how do we know what it will go towards? And maybe someone can give me some education from the dais or from, I know we talked about this last week perhaps, but.
Good afternoon, Council. Thank you, Councilman Clark, for that. Sherita Allen, Senior Advisor for Economic and Community Development. Those dollars, when they went over to, those dollars from C&E were restricted for small business programs, so they will come back for small business programs. It has not been determined how those dollars will be used. I do know at the start of this particular council body, there was a discussion around having a small business committee that was going to be set up with some of the council members. We're waiting to determine, we're waiting to hear from the council what those initiatives will look like.
So, Ms. Allen, just to clarify that the specified purpose would be for small business programs?
It would be for small business programs, yes.
Okay. Which is a broad stroke of things.
Yes, it is.
And does that board have the authority to allocate what is the influence of that board to decide? Does that come back to council? Can you explain to that process on how they allocate that money towards small business programs?
Historically, the city council has set up has set up small business programs by legislation.
Gotcha.
And moved those programs over to the IDB for implementation. The council has also set up funding to go along with that historically through ordinances. So in this particular case, there are growing small business programs, there are innovation grant programs, there are other programs that this council or previous councils have created and moved over for implementation with funding. This would be funding that goes over for small business programs that could be used for any of those existing programs that are about to sunset, or it could be for new programs for small businesses that are created.
Awesome. Thank you, Madam Chair. I yield back.
And thank you, Sharita, for looking to guidance from the work group on economic development from the council. I believe that Councilman Elliott is chairing that, and we have our rules available from our city attorney on how we can handle those meetings. So I look forward to this once we get our budget passed.
Sounds great. Thank you, council.
Thank you so
Thank you, Councilman Clark.
Okay, council, any other questions on any resolution items? We have Public Works and Wastewater as well. All right, I'm going to jump over to purchases for today. There is one item that we do want to point out. We have a very small clerical error. Debbie, are you here and would like to address that for us? In the fleet management renewal with price increase for Pandora's European Motorsports Council, that's the middle item on purchases. Debbie has a brief update.
Yes, actually, that particular purchase has a clerical error. Instead of 14% increase, it's actually a 16% increase.
And Mr. Attorney, I believe you have confirmed that we can just note that in the record as a clerical error. We will not need to have an alternate version.
Will not need to have an alternate version, but it's on this evening at that amount, yes.
Okay, so we will bring that to the forefront at the appropriate time. Madam Budget Chair, might you make note of that for our voting meeting? The middle item, fleet management, instead of a 14% price increase, it's actually a 16%. It's just a clerical error that we need to note in the record. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Council, hit your light if you've got any questions about any purchases. We don't have any renewals today. We do have some sole source purchases that will be reported, no RFPs and no emergency purchases today. Okay, great. All right, so let's take a look then at our 2-week agenda, please. On the 2-week agenda, please do note that we will be having our public hearing for the administration's proposal regarding intent to exceed the certified tax rate. This will be specifically to make sure that we have an official public hearing for Mayor Kelly's proposal of a 1.99 or $1.99 millage rate. And the council will also have an alternate version that will be available for viewing by that point. So we'll be happy to hear comment on all things budget. And we'll do it again the next week as well. Okay, so skipping the items that will be on final reading, please hit your light if you have any questions about ordinances on first reading. We have some wastewater items. Okay, under resolutions, council office, some economic development, parks and outdoors. There is an item under parks and outdoors that on my version, there may be a newer version, but on my version has a blank. It is the resolution for parks and outdoors to apply for and if awarded, accept a tourism enhancement grant. The number there will be $100,000 is the grant value. All right, board is clear. So let's switch over, council, please, to our future considerations document. If you have any questions about items under future considerations, please hit your light.
It says I'm still active.
Yes, you are. Would you like to talk again?
Yes, ma'am,
All
I
right,
would.
go for it,
Thank you,
Councilman.
Madam Chair.
Councilman Clark.
This is a question about the grant from the Southeast Tennessee District for $20,000 for senior community-based services and activities. What particular center would that benefit? Most of our senior services, I think, are housed under what, I don't know.
Currently, Councilman, that grant is going towards personnel at the Glenwood
Thank you.
facility.
And Cedric, that personnel pays for, what does that personnel position do?
It's a community specialist.
Gotcha, thank you. But is it community specialist as it specifically relates to seniors?
Yes.
Are they doing something? Okay. Thank you, that's actually good to know. Personnel for seniors. Thank you, Cedric. That's all, Madam Chair.
Okay, Councilman Elliott.
Yes, mine is about the Parks and Outdoors Watkins Street building. I remember a few years ago, we were kind of up in the air on what to do with Watkins Street in that particular building. Do we have an update on what the future plans are for this facility?
So that's not on future considerations, right? Or am I missing, which one are we looking at?
Yeah, is this not what I'm looking at?
I think I'm not following you. Just tell me what
Is it
your
under
number is.
Public Works, item 2?
The Carver
Is this not the Watkins Street building?
It is.
Carver Community Center is the Watkins Street building? Okay.
Yeah, the Watkins Street building is not a community center. It's where the Parks and
Parks and
Recreation,
Outdoors,
part of the team is. It's the old Parks and Rec building. And we do have some staff in part of the building, and part of it is unused currently, and there is some
it's the
asbestos in the
same.
building that they are going to remediate
I
the
see.
asbestos. I can't really speak yet on what the long-term plans are for the facility, but getting the asbestos out would be the first step towards being able to better utilize the facility.
Yeah, if we could circle back, I would love to hear you guys' general thoughts on this, because I understand we're deed restricted on that piece of property, of like, it can only be used for Parks and Outdoors purposes.
Yes, sir.
You know, that's right in Ridgedale, so if you guys don't decide to keep the building, there could be opportunity for a better renovated park. So I'd just love to hear you guys' thoughts on what you guys want to do.
Sure, we'll keep you informed.
All right, thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's connect on it. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay. All right. Council, any other questions on future considerations? All right, looks like we're good. I will hand over the chair to Councilman Clark for our community development.
Okay, do you want to? All right, good afternoon. I'm going to call to order the committee meeting for community development. Is there a motion? Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. So moved. There is an agenda, and we're going to follow it. I'm going to start off with some comments, and then we'll go into some fun stuff with our community center. I don't know if there's a slideshow presentation to there is one. Okay, great. I do want to, I know there's been a lot of talk about community development in our line item areas, and, today I was very pleased to hear some progress from some of the sponsors, that some of those line items and some alternative proposals do not impact community development as stands. And so I think that is a victory. And to the co-sponsors of the alternative legislation, I'm open-minded, and I appreciate the dialogue and being able to discuss sensitive things of that nature, and to make changes when necessary. So thank you, Councilman Henderson, for that line item adjustment for community development, because we need to continue to develop our community. There are needs in all of our districts, whatever your race or economic creed is, we have to continue to develop our community. And with that, I'd like to call up our interim administrator, Cedric, sorry, I had a brain freeze, I'm thinking, to showcase some of those amazing things that are happening in our community centers, and not just community centers in 4 of our districts, but all of our districts. And we've had some very successful summer camps where we can showcase the work and the joy that our children have been able to enjoy. And I'll turn it over to interim administrator, Mr. Henson.
Thank you. Good afternoon again, Council. Cedric Henson, Interim Administrator for the Department of Community Development. As Councilman Clark has previously stated, we are here today to provide an update on the results of our 2025 summer camp program. I'll attempt to be brief. But what I think really stands out is in terms of measuring success, how our summer camps united residents with the shared purpose of being active and more connected. I would like to extend first and foremost a sincere thanks to our dedicated city staff for their crucial collaborations and efforts in making this program possible. So here are the key highlights. Our summer camp ran from June 2nd through July 25th. This year's program, it was a comprehensive one. We featured diverse offerings from various age groups. We had 12 youth camps from ages 6 to 12, 2 teen camps from ages 3 to 16, and then 4 senior adult sites. One of our standout successes from the very beginning was our enrollment results and that process. We had an outstanding 625 participants registered, and from a process perspective, we were able to achieve for the first time 100% online registration this year. This success of that registration, it was largely due to the successful rollout of our app registration system. We leveraged the technology of our My Chat Connect. Shameless plug, please download that app, right, for greater engagement and convenience. And we enhanced our parent online portal. In addition to this, which I thought was really great, to ensure that our parents were fully engaged and informed, we also held a mandatory parent meeting before the start of summer camp. Here we really saw how this meeting served to lay out expectations for the parents, but more importantly, for us to understand their expectations of us. It really fostered a collaborative spirit of an environment for our children's success. Training for success, we employed 49 dedicated camp counselors, and to ensure that high-quality experience for all of our participants, we executed a joint training effort, partnered with Outdoor Chattanooga, thank you to those folks over there, for summer camp counselor training. This included some youth engagement, pool preparations, safety protocols, as well as outdoor activity leadership. As you can see, some of those smiling faces in around those canoes, they also had some hands-on training that they did, where this sessions really built confidence of those individuals and practical skills for our counselors. So what did our kids do? Not only was there day-to-day programming, arts and crafts, swimming, sports, we organized over 130 field trips and adventures across all of our programs, our camp programs. This was really providing an engaging and enriching experience for all that attended. And as we showed earlier, this just wasn't for our little ones. We had participation in both local and out-of-town trips, regional parks and educational landmarks, really exposing our participants to new environments in and outside of Chattanooga. And so again, it just wasn't for the kiddos. Our teen camps, they specifically registered 35 participants, ages 13 to 16. And these campuses really had a different twist to them, as some of them our programming focused on providing tours for local businesses and insights into workforce and entrepreneurship. We thought that was important. These experiences we felt were crucial for this demographic and directly address career exploration and skill development, helping our teens envision future pathways and preparing them for those real-world responsibilities that we all know are definitely coming. We also developed key partnerships with Inspire, who does leadership training even for city employees. They also were partners with us during summer camps in collaboration with Parks and Outdoors, just to enhance some of these experiences. And for our seniors even got in on the fun. Our seniors and adults enrichment program were hosted at 4 key sites: North River, Hickson, Francis B. Wyatt, and Glenwood. These programs, we saw them providing that invaluable opportunity for that social engagement. You know, that mental stimulation and physical activity that we know is important in combating some of the isolation that concerns us with some of our senior residents, and we saw it as extremely imperative, and our program was built and executed with that in mind. Our city collaborations were huge for us. They were absolutely pivotal to the success and breadth of our program. We benefited immensely from both internal and external partnerships, demonstrating a true community-wide effort as we see it. Some of the depictions you see here, there's collaborations with the fire department providing educational sessions on fire safety. We had a judge from the juvenile court system who spoke to children, offering insight on civic responsibility. Car Fit, a lot of fun there. We're providing invaluable information on car safety for our youth. And last but ultimately not least, the YMCA, which generously provided over 21,000 meals for our youth participants. So our city collaborations were of extreme importance throughout this process. Ultimately, our goal for summer camp program extends just beyond activities. It was about fostering growth and development. This year, we observed significant outcomes for our participants, promoting qualities that you see here on the left and right side of this screen. And I'm certain that this program will have a lasting and positive impact in the minds of all involved. You know, from the children and teens who discovered new relationships and new passions, new friendships, to our seniors who were able to have that renewed engagement, all the way to our dedicated staff and just having the opportunity to be in the presence of our community members. But I don't want you to take just simply the opinion of Cedric.
Kingston, and I'm 8 years old, and my favorite thing about summer camp is that we get to play games in a gym. 1, 2, 3. My name is Paisley, and I am 8 years old, and my favorite part about summer camp is going swimming. Hi, my name is Kiana, and I'm 7 years old, and my favorite part is every Tuesday going swimming.
Hey everyone, my name is Jaya. I'm a summer camp counselor, and my favorite thing about camp was the Carver Center talent shows. I loved it. We won twice in a row, so it was definitely a time to be alive.
My name is Lamari. I'm 10. My favorite thing about summer camp was probably swimming.
Hello, my name is Kennedy, and my favorite part about summer camp was really building relationships and connections with our families and our kids. My group had a lot of returners from previous summers, so it's always great to see them want to see you each year, and then for my newcomers, just building that relationship to make them feel well.
So my name is Mimi / Malia. I'm 9 years old. I started at 6. My favorite thing about camp is either making bracelets or going swimming.
I'm Miss V, or Virginia. I am a full-time staff here at Avondale Community Center, the A team. And my favorite part about camp is this right here, the girls, being around them. They give me energy every day.
My name is Thaddeus Casey. I'm 12 years old, and I love that this community is a fun and loving family.
My name is Kaden Herman. I'm a summer camp counselor here at Avondale, and my favorite thing about working here is seeing the kids outside of camp, whether it be at the mall, like at a restaurant, or even some public events that we be having here in Chattanooga. They'll come up to you like, Coach Caden. That's always my favorite thing, year after year, seeing them outside of camp.
I'm Janaya. My favorite part of the team camp was meeting everybody and going on like different trips.
My name is Aaliyah, and what I like about team camp
is making new friends.
My name is Caleb, and what I liked about teen camp was playing with everyone.
Thank you, council members, for your time and continued support of these vital community programs. Let's continue developing our communities. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Henson. There are questions reserved at the latter part of the agenda, but I would like to open questions up for now for your presentation. If anyone has any. Well, you got a standing applause, and I want to commend you because I know you're coming into a transitional role. And this is amazing. You've got some amazing staffers. I know Chris Brown played a role in putting this together in summer camp, so thank you for your work as well. And I think God's timing is immaculate in that we are discussing community development and why we have to do what we do. And I think about Kingston, Paisley, Kiana, Lamari, Kennedy, Mimi, Thaddeus, and Janiyah, and all of the counselors who are Caden, Virginia, and Jaya. That's not a show. This is me showing you through this video that what we do is not for show, is that this is why we do it. This is why we ask the critical, tough questions. And I hope that this is an example to council members that when you are deciding cuts to community development, you're cutting Kingston, Paisley, Kiana's, Lamari, Kennedy's, Mimi's, Thaddeus, and Janiyah's opportunity to develop in our city. Because had they not maybe come through these camps, maybe there would be something less fortunate. So thank you for the work that community development is doing at all of our centers. I know one of them was the Francis B. Wyatt Center. So thank you again for your work in community development.
Thank you all. Thank you.
All right, we're going to move on our agenda. And we're going to go, this is probably the business part. Where's our friend, our Deputy Chief Operating Officer, Steve Wilson? If you could do a presentation from some business we have previously discussed regarding the administrative restructure. And then lastly, I'd like for you to talk about the selection process update, and I will make a proposal to council in that regard. Okay, go ahead, Steve.
All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate you giving me this opportunity to speak, and just want to say thank you to all of our community center staff and everyone that was had a part to play in the summer camps. They were phenomenal. We had record attendance this year, and we were just thrilled with all the exciting things that we were able to impact people's lives in that way. So I also want to just take time to thank Cedric for stepping in as the interim over the last couple of months. He's really been getting out in the community, going to the centers, and just engaging with the managers and the staff and getting to know, getting a feel on what's going on and what the communities need, as each community is a little different in their needs, right? And that's some of the things that we've learned over the last few years, I think, as we're trying to move towards this community resource hub model. So, strategically, we are focused on trying to meet the needs of the community, which is more than just being rec centers. It's providing really whatever the community needs, whether that's in fiscal health or mental health or just other needs that the facilities have, training, courses, things of that nature. We want to be that place that the centers can come to. So we're strategically focused on that. Listening in on the conversation that you all had today, a lot of spirited debate, a lot of passions around that. And I think some things became clear to me that, some of you all at council are ready to just move forward. Let's just keep pushing, doing more in the centers. And some of you have a little concern over we've just not made enough progress over the last few years, right? And we need to do more to really truly have community resource hubs and to do more for the center. And we're right there with you. We want to be strategically focused that way. And that's partially why we're also coming with this new plan to integrate in community health division and the community engagement divisions, because those two areas are critical for the work that we do in our community centers, with community health, having the nurse navigators, having the, the youth violence programs and the chain breakers, having that work really grow and expand in the centers, and also with the community engagement piece and the programming that they do to be able to come in and just integrate that all around the hub model. So we've got big plans there. We're working on I don't have it to show today, but we're working on the organizational change that will be, and that's, I think, made it to future consideration. So that'll be in front of you in a few weeks to be able to vote on bringing those two groups into the community development department. As far as the administrator goes, obviously, to be able to do this, the one thing that really became abundantly clear in today's meeting is we've got to have strong leadership, right? And again, I appreciate Cedric doing a good job for us so far the time he's here. And, we want to just have that leadership for, the years to come. We need steady leadership that's stable and strong and there for the long haul to support our departments, our managers, our teams, and the citizens that walk in the doors. So that's what we're looking to get. Currently, we're revising the job description because it does need to be a little different. The current job description is an old one. It doesn't really say anything about resource hubs. It clearly does not say anything about having community health or community engagement as a part of it. So I'm working with HR right now. We submitted a draft to them to get a new job description done so that we will be ready to move forward as soon as we get things through, get the vote through council and we're agreed on what the new org structure is going to look like. And again, that should be in just the next, coming weeks. And then once that's ready, then we'll be ready to move forward with the permanent hire for community development.
Steve, I have a question I'd like to open up to the rest of council.
Sure.
First, actually, this is a statement. I had a conversation with you and the mayor regarding the selection process, and I made a recommendation that we forego the application process and the vetting process in posting the position. I believe it is the prerogative of the mayor, with all of his expertise, with yours, that you all do the vetting, and you make the recommendation to the city council on who you choose and who you think would be the most suitable person to lead that department. Right now, it is an interim capacity.
Yes, sir.
And I believe if you have made that decision, there's no need to open it up to the outside public, but to continue to look internally. And we have done that by selecting Cedric as our interim. I'd like for us to use the model the federal government uses. When the president appoints a judge, he sends those individuals to the body for interviewing. And this council has been very hands-on and very vocal, as you know, about the mayor's picks. And so I would like to reverse and put some of that responsibility back on council. Before the mayor and this particular committee appoints the permanent administrator, I am requesting, and the mayor is aware of this, that before that decision is made, that candidate, if it's Cedric or whoever, first meets with all of our council members, which then gives, I hear some breathing on the other side, so I'm sure, put your light to ask some questions. That we do our fiduciary duties as the oversight capacity and interview the candidate. And if we have any recommendations other than what the candidate that the mayor has offered, we can share that with the administration. But I believe it is our oversight duties to interview, before I feel comfortable voting, to interview those candidates, that where we can have their resume and the job description together. And we can be a collaborative team, which is in our charter, to advise in consent towards the mayor on who he should report, who he should appoint. And the mayor and I have spoken, and he is in favor of that. But I want to officially request that publicly, and I'll now open the floor up for questions from the council. We'll start with Councilman Elliott. His light is not lit. I'm sure he has a question because he's ready. So he has a question. Councilman Elliott, you have the floor for a question.
I just want to clarify. I'm just fat and I couldn't breathe. Trying to breathe. So you're breathing hard. just bear with me. I'm just trying to breathe. Asthma kicking in.
Councilman.
That's it.
Decorum.
That's it.
Are there any questions from any other council
I have no
members?
questions. Whatever process you guys go through, that's fine. I trust you guys to find a good pick, and we'll examine once you guys find that. Cedric, you're doing great.
Thank you, Councilman Eller. Your time has expired. Now moving on. Madam Chairwoman Hill.
Thank you. Interesting idea. Something that's important to me is continuity and process. And we know that the administration has been working on making a more consistent process for hiring department heads. I personally would be in favor of a consistent process. And HR, I know, is a very detailed and intentional department with how they do what they do. So any process needs to be able to withstand the full scrutiny of labor law. Be my thoughts on that. That's all. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
And in my response to that, we're not foregoing any HR practices. I would assume that internally that the mayor and the chief operating officer would adhere to those HR practices and before he makes any of his selections. In our charter, it gives the mayor the prerogative to make that selection. And I think the process that I think would be more sufficient for this position is to allow more involvement and collaborative time with the council before we vote. I think to the criticism when we were hiring the fire chief, I think this would alleviate some of those concerns by including council in on those conversations on the forefront to actually create a more standard operating process that's not as controversy. To me, I think would be smoother. So again, the prerogative of the mayor without a vote of the council. And for this particular committee, I'm asking that before he makes his appointment, that they meet with each of us first, and that we have the opportunity to give recommendation and thoughts on that candidate before he announces it to the public. Okay?
Thank you, Councilman. I would just say that we do always try to follow policy or HR rules. Obviously, there is a little more leeway with appointed positions that are mayoral appointments. It's a learning experience for me, that I've been through two so far with parks. We did one way and then got some feedback, and we did a different way with the fire chief. Got some more feedback. We actually started, as we went through, the fire chief started documenting out a process, and then we've gotten some more feedback since then, and then what your recommendations are that you provided to me on Friday. So, to Chairwoman Hill's point, we do want to have as standard of a process as we can, and that's what we're trying to build out. But we also want to incorporate the feedback and the opportunities you have to improve that. So I appreciate the comments.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. That's so funny. Because anyway, it's an inside joke. Dennis and Mr. Wilson. Anyway. All right, so seeing no other questions, Mr. Wilson, I think we're going to move on down the agenda.
Thank you.
Are there any closing remarks or next steps? So there are some next steps. What are the next steps in regards to the ordinance being placed on the agenda? I know it's up for future considerations, but would that be the next step for community development? Is for us to hear that in future considerations regarding how the restructure would be?
Yeah, and I think the COS side of the house is the one that's actually putting that on the agenda. But essentially, we would want to make sure that what we're proposing would be approved before we move forward with anything. So that'd be the next step.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, Madam Chair, we will adjourn till 5 p.m. All right, that concludes our Community Development Committee meeting, and we will adjourn until 5 p.m.
Please read items A and B as a package.
Item A, an ordinance closing and abandoning the unopened right-of-way in the 200 block of Tremont Street as detailed on the attached maps, subject to certain conditions. Item B, an ordinance closing and abandoning the unopened right-of-way in the unit block of Chambliss Street as shown on the attached maps, subject to certain conditions.
Thank you very much. Council?
Move to approve.
Thank you. Council, we have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. If you have any questions or comments, hit your light. I would like to point out that one of these abandonments requests in District 2, the first one, we have had a novel approach to it and worked with an applicant that was very willing to find a win-win-win. And in this one, we have traded some right-of-way for a different part of right-of-way, so we maintain potential access for pedestrians in the future, should that be possible, but also allow this development the space that it needs. So with that, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. All right, we're moving into planning items. Item A.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to rezone property located at 4525 Hickson Pike from CC Commercial Corridor Zone to IL Light Industrial Zone.
Thank you. This is planning case number 2025-0099. Is the applicant present? Is there any opposition present? Thank you. Karen, can we please get a presentation on this?
Okay. This case was recommended for denial by both staff and Planning Commission. We did a full presentation last week at Planning and Zoning Committee, so much of this will be a repeat. This is a request to rezone 4525 Hickson Pike from CC Commercial Corridor Zone to IL Light Industrial Zone for proposed use of outdoor storage. Again, to orient, this is about a block and a half south of Eli Road. Just to compare those two zones, again, going from CC to IL, the CC Commercial Corridor Zone is intended to accommodate commercial development along corridors that mixes residential, commercial, service, and institutional, and serves both the neighborhood and community at large. The IL Industrial Zone is intended to accommodate industrial activities that do not create appreciable nuisance and hazard, and they can also accommodate select services and commercial uses. So the applicant has storage containers on the site that aren't allowed in the current CC zone that are triggering the need for the IL Light Industrial Zone. There's no recent zoning history at the site. Madam Chair did flag last week during the presentation that the property to the north was rezoned with conditions. That was rezoned in 2022 to UGC with conditions. That's since been equivalency mapped to CMU1, but those conditions carry over. And those conditions are maximum height of 3 stories in residential, retail, and office uses only. All other uses, including but not limited to auto-oriented uses, adult-oriented establishments, self-service storage facilities, wholesaling with accessory warehousing, and hospitals shall be prohibited. So that's the property to the immediate north that has those use conditions. The site's surrounded by non-residential uses, including commercial and office uses. There's no IL, that industrial light zone property immediately surrounding the use. There is heavy industrial zoning, 1,300 feet away east, and then south on Hickson Pike, 1,500 feet away. So 1,300 feet one way, 1,500 feet another way till you get to that next industrial zone. The Hickson North River Plan recommends a medium business mix, so that's convenience commercial, neighborhood commercial, office residential, similar uses, so really kind of a corridor mix, but not the industrial use. So this is the building. Hickson Pike will be to your right in this picture. And these are the storage containers triggering the rezoning. But just a note that although we're kind of talking about the storage container, overall, the plan does not support industrial zoning or uses at this site. So staff recommendation was to deny. The site surrounded by non-residential uses, but the request is not compatible with adopted land use plan. There's no industrial zoning near the site. In the IL zone, will introduce a higher intense development form along Hickson Pike. There was opposition present at Planning Commission, appearance of the storage units themselves and the use and zone. Planning Commission determined the request is not compatible with the plan, development form, and adjacent land uses, and Planning Commission recommended denial.
Thank you very much, Karen. So the applicant is not present. We do have opposition present. Opposition, if you would like to, you may have up to 9 minutes total to share your perspective on this application.
Good evening, Council. Hannah Claire Bogus with Chambliss, Bonner, and Stoffel on behalf of Beacon Alliance, which operates Highland Pediatrics, which is directly behind the subject property. As you can sort of see from the map on the screen, Highland's parking lot goes right up to the property line, and the current placement of the shipping containers, which we understand is where the owner intends to leave them, creates what I call an attractive nuisance to the children that come to the medical office. There have been several instances so far where moms have come into the office and said, you know, the kids were running over to the storage containers, and so our client just has sort of a safety concern in that there's nothing currently preventing any of the children from going up and seeing the containers. Also, just from a land use perspective, we agree with staff's recommendation and Planning Commission that it's a precedent that we don't want to set in this corridor where there are existing commercial uses. We don't think that industrial is compatible, particularly with a property that runs right off of Hickson Pike. And I will yield the rest of the time to Mr. Tom Dupre.
I'm Tom Dupre, and Gus Cisa had asked me to represent him as he is out of town. I've been involved in his development since day one and sold the property to him and gone through the rezoning, and he is getting ready to break ground on a $13 million townhouse facility that would overlook this facility here. And so I wanted to give just a few key points on why we feel like, and he does, this would not be appropriate for the corridor. And just like they said, that it's a commercial and retail and professional center and not really a place for cargo containers to be in that area. And I'm afraid that too, if you would approve those uses, then all of a sudden, you know, it's going to open up Pandora's box for these to pop up. And one of the things too is that the townhouses are going to be 2 stories tall. So the people that would be living in the area adjoining this would be looking down upon these containers. So I don't think that a kind of a spot zoning would be a good idea for that. Also, a potential opportunity for him, if he needs storage, is to build a 1-story garage-like looking facility with garage doors or some of the nice, you know, storage facilities that you see kind of at a Home Depot or Lowe's. Something along that nature and architecture would be much more compatible with the need for any kind of storage. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Council, this is in my district, and I am generally very mindful of what the area plans have in them, and also the zoning around the area, and being mindful of zoning for the piece of property, not the project. So I'll start with those comments. Councilwoman Burrs, I see that you have your light on.
I was going to make a motion to deny the request, but if there's other discussion, I'll yield to that.
I would be in support of that motion if there's someone that would like to second it. Second. Okay, Council, we have a motion on the floor to deny, and we have a proper second. Any further comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion to deny passes. Thank you very much. Item B, please.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to rezone property located in the 1000 block of Lupton Drive from RN3 residential neighborhood zone to CC commercial corridor zone, subject to certain conditions.
Thank you very much. This is Planning case 2025-0109. Is the applicant present? Is there any opposition present? Council, this is also in District 2, and it is appropriate for the area. I would welcome, as the District 2 representative, a motion to approve.
Move to approve.
Second.
Thank you very much. We have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Do I have any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. And they're going to have to build a sidewalk, y'all, on Lupton Drive. Love it. Item C, please.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to rezone properties located at 7458 and 7460 Pinewood Drive from RN16 Residential Neighborhood Zone to RN2 Residential Neighborhood Zone.
Thank you. This is planning case 2025-0054. Is the applicant present? Is there any opposition present? Councilman Harvey, this is in your district. How would you like to proceed?
Thank you, Madam Chair. After multiple attempts to reach the developer, we have not heard from them. I've not heard from them. We even had a neighborhood meeting last night on Pinewood Drive, and they were not present there either. Planning Commission has also recommended to deny this case. So I make a motion to deny item C, please.
Second. Thank you. Council, we have a motion on the floor to deny with a proper second. Hit your light if you have any questions or comments. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to deny passes. Item D.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to rezone properties located at 1721, 1723, 1725, and 1735 Joyner Road from CNT Neighborhood Transition Commercial Zone and RN16 Residential Neighborhood Zone to RN3 Residential Neighborhood Zone, subject to certain conditions.
Thank you. This is planning case number 2025-0112. Is the applicant present? Thank you. Do we have any opposition present? Okay. Right. This is in District 4, Councilman Harvey.
Sorry, Councilman Harvey.
That's okay.
No worries.
That's all right.
I got one coming up.
Okay, we'll trade.
Would you like a presentation?
No, this case is the opposite case of the last one. The developer has been more than agreeable and communicative. He hosted a neighborhood meeting where those in attendance were agreeable to the zoning case as well. So thank you for being so communicative, Mike. We appreciate that, and so does the neighborhood. I make a motion to approve.
I second.
Thank you, Jen.
Terrific. We have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Hit your light if you've got any questions or comments. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, council. Item E, please.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to rezone property located at 7117 Bonnie Oaks Drive from RN16 Residential Neighborhood Zone to CNT Neighborhood Transition Commercial Zone, subject to certain conditions.
Thank you. This is planning case 2025-0089. Is the applicant present? Is any opposition present? Councilwoman Burrs, this is in your district. We have no one present. How would you like to proceed?
Yeah, I would like to move to approve with the special conditions.
And are the conditions listed on this document, or do we need to read them in?
They should be in the document.
Okay, great. Can I get a second, council? Second. All right, we have a motion on the floor to approve item E with a proper second. If you've got any questions or comments, hit your light. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion passes. Item F, please.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to rezone part of a property located at 6401 Mountain View Road from CC Commercial Corridor Zone to INST Institutional Zone, subject to certain conditions.
Thank you. This is planning case 2025-0102. Is the applicant present? Do we have any opposition present? Councilwoman Burrs, this is in your district. How would you like to proceed?
Yep, I heard from the engineering company, and they asked for a deferral till September 9th, please. And I would like to make a motion to defer until September 9th.
Second. Okay, council, we have a motion on the floor to defer until September 9th with a proper second. If you have any questions or comments, hit your light. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item G.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38, zoning ordinance, so as to lift condition number 1 from ordinance number 13935, a previous case number 2022-0233, on properties located at 4905 and 4907 Pattontown Road, and to add a new condition.
This is planning case 2025-0111. Is the applicant present? Yes. Do we have any opposition present? Councilwoman Burrs.
Yeah, Karen, I have a question about this one. I'm going to make a motion to approve, but I just want to make sure I'm approving the correct version. This is where they were going to lift the condition on that development. That's correct?
That's correct. They were lifting one condition, but staff recommended replacing it with another condition to conform to the plan, so, and that was.
That's the one the planning commission approved,
That's correct. Single
Okay.
unit detached residential and accessory dwellings only.
Okay,
Which is,
all right.
and that is the proposed use.
Okay, versus the applicant's version. Okay. I would like to make a motion to approve with the new condition.
All right,
Thank you.
We have a motion to approve, council. All right, with a proper second. Hit your light if you have any questions or comments. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item H.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38, zoning ordinance, so as to rezone property located at 3524 Broad Street from CMU1 Commercial Mixed Use Zone to CR Regional Commercial Zone, subject to certain conditions.
Thank you. This is planning case 2025-0105. Is the applicant present? Is there any opposition present? Councilwoman Dotley, this is in your district.
Yes, thank you so much, Madam Chair. Overall, I received a favorable response for this particular zoning. I did want to get on record if Mr. Price could come up, or Karen, about the traffic, so it'll be on the record how the traffic flow goes for that, for this particular property.
I can add one item, which is the resolution has a condition added, so that was discussion at Planning Commission. In response to opposition, Planning Commission's recommending a condition, it's in the ordinance, and no vehicular access to Charger Drive.
Okay, all right, and then that is, and Mike, you good? All right, so with that, I'm excited to have a new scooters, even more development in District 7 on Broward Street, very excited, have a new scooters coming in, so with that, I move to approve.
Second. Thank you. Council, we have a motion on the floor to approve with the proper second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you, Council.
Item I.
An ordinance to approve corrections to the official zoning map as referenced below.
Council, thank you.
Second.
All right, we've got a motion to approve with the proper second. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. All right, moving into resolutions. Economic Development, item A, please.
A resolution authorizing the transfer of $588,809.98 in remaining funds from the terminated Chattanooga Opportunity Fund with Chattanooga Neighborhood Enterprise, CNE, to the Industrial Development Board, IDB, account number NR14Z00306, to be used for economic development purposes.
Second.
Thank you. Council, we have a motion on the floor to approve with the proper second. Hit your light if you've got any questions or comments. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Item B, please.
A resolution rescinding resolution number 32212 and authorizing the administrator for the Department of Economic Development to execute a second amendment to the agreement with the Chattanooga Area Regional Council of Governments, Southeast Tennessee Development District, for the management of the city's EPA Brownfield Cleanup Grant, adding the option to renew for one additional one-year term, and authorizing the administrator for the Department of Economic Development to execute an agreement to exercise option to renew for an additional one-year term, beginning September 1st, 2025, and ending on August 31st, 2026.
Council, we have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. All right, we're going to take items C and D as a package, please.
Item C, a resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to award contract number S25001-201, Mountain Creek Stream Restoration to Global Infrastructure, Inc. of Chattanooga, Tennessee, in the amount of $1,815,000, with a contingency in the amount of $181,500, for a total amount of $1,996,500. Item D, a resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to award contract number O22001, Chattanooga Skate Park, to Robert Roberts LLC of Chattanooga, Tennessee, in the amount of $999,834.98, with a contingency in the amount of $49,991.75, for an amount not to exceed $1,049,826.73.
Thank you. Council, we have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Councilman Henderson?
I'm good.
All right. If you've got any comments or questions, please hit your light. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Let's take E and F as a package, please.
Item E, a resolution authorizing the administrator for the wastewater department to award contract number W2019201, Big Ridge 2 Pump Station Improvement Projects to J. Brennan Construction of Dalton, Georgia, for pump station improvements at Big Ridge 2 Pump Station in the amount of $1,826,000, with a contingency in the amount of $182,600, for a total amount not to exceed $2,008,600. Item F, a resolution authorizing the reassignment of existing contracts from W.K. Dixon to Ardura Group, Inc., due to the acquisition of W.K. Dixon by Ardura Group, Inc., and directing all future contract obligations, rights, and responsibilities to be transferred to Ardura Group, Inc., effective upon adoption of this resolution.
Councilman Harvey?
I had a comment just regarding Public Works, but I'll make a move to, motion to approve.
I apologize.
That's okay.
We have a motion to approve, council?
Second.
Thank you, with a proper second. If you've got any questions or comments, please hit your light, and I will do my best to see it. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Councilman Harvey, would you like to make your comment about Public Works?
Please, thank you. I just wanted to give a quick shout out to our Administrator of Public Works, Jeremy Wood. Over the weekend, we received an issue over in my district with a memorial sign that was dedicated to Deputy Donald Bond. The sign had fallen over, and David Carroll actually is the one who recognized it, and it through a storm or something had fallen over and gotten dirty. And within like maybe 2 hours of me calling or texting Jeremy, his team went out that night, and it was, mind you, it's over the weekend, and was able to get the sign, and within 15 hours had a brand new sign to memorialize Deputy Donald Bond over in East Brainerd. So I just wanted to shout out Jeremy Wood. You're awesome. Thank you to you and your team for everything you do, and that was, I was highly impressed. So I think he deserves a hand clap for that.
Thank you, Councilman. Let's move on to purchases, please.
Good evening. Do we need to go ahead and amend the second purchase that I have? Or are we good to go?
We don't need to actually amend it, but if
Okay.
you will, as you read it, please make note of the clerical
Make sure it's
error for the
correct.
record.
You got it.
And make the correction.
Okay. I have three purchases recommended for approval this evening. The first one is for fleet. This is a purchase of one Kubota skid steer in the amount of $98,734.67 for the use by State Street Aid Public Works. This purchase is utilizing the Sourcewell contract. The second one is for fleet. Year 3 renewal, Pandora's European Motorsports has requested in the original document, it says 14%. This needs to be corrected to 16% price increase due to the model year change and tariffs. The new estimated annual spend will be $600,000. Fleet has approved the increase. Number 3 is for technology services. Council approval is requested for a name change from Grid Smart Technology to Cubic Transportation Systems for agreement PA 100107.
Be approved with the amendment.
With the amendment?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Council, we're going to make a motion. We have a motion on the floor to approve with the verbal amendment. And we have a proper second. Do we have any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
I have 2 sole source purchases to report. The first one is for wastewater. It's IT Pipe software. IT Pipes will provide the sole inspection software that integrates with the existing sewer inspection cameras, trucks, and other equipment for a total price of $22,425. The second one is also for wastewater. Varick Flame Arresters. Echo Tech is an exclusive authorized sales representative in Tennessee to provide Veritech flame resistors related to digester gas and biogas applications for a total cost of $30,372.
Thank you very much. Okay, council. Brings us to committee reports. Councilman Elliott.
No committee report, but I would like to remind the public that District 9 is having our district-wide town hall this coming Monday the 18th at 6 p.m. at Redemption to the Nations Church on Bailey Avenue. Would love for y'all to be there. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Dotley.
Yes, thank you so much, Madam Chair. I'm sure Councilman Henderson will speak to the ad hoc meeting today, but I did want to remind people that next week, August 19th, we'll have a public hearing on the budget amendment, particularly the mayor's budget amendment. And then August 26th, we have first read. Also on August 26th, we'll have a public hearing for the budget amendment presented by Councilman Henderson and co-sponsored by Councilman Davis. That will be on August 26th, also with first read as well. Okay, also with first read as well. And whichever comes out in the wash, we will have a second read for it on September the 9th. All right, is that all right? Okay, thank you so much, Madam Chair. And then we'll be done. Be done till next year. Praise God.
Councilwoman Burr.
Thank you. No committee report, but District 6 will have a town hall meeting on August 21st. That's Thursday at Tyner Community Center at 6 p.m.
Okay. Vice Chair, or I'm coming back to you at the end. Councilman Henderson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I did chair a very spirited ad hoc committee today concerning finalizing an alternate version to our budget amendment. And as stated, there will be a public hearing on that on the 26th, as well as the first read of that, of our amended budget anyway. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councilman Davis?
No report, thank you.
Councilman Harvey?
No report.
Councilman Clark?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I do have a report. We did have our Community Development Committee meeting today. We heard from Administrator Cedric Henson and Deputy Chief Operating Officer Steve Wilson, just regarding some of the administrative functions that are coming up on future considerations, and just some amazing things happening in our summer camps. So thank you again to that group for presenting. I would like to make some district announcements. District 5 is hosting a series of town hall meetings starting on the 21st at Brainerd High School at 6 o'clock. You have 3 options. The second option will be Saturday, I think August the 23rd at Hillcrest Elementary School at 10 a.m. And if you missed that one, your third option, you can watch online virtually that Sunday at 6 p.m. So District 5 has 3 opportunities to participate in town hall hearings prior to our first and second reading of our budgets. Madam Chair, thank you.
Thank you very much. Councilwoman Dolly, you have your light?
Yes, I'm so sorry, and I forgot to mention the time of those public hearings are both, off of it, on the 19th, both the 19th and 26th at 3:30. And then also I did notice on our agenda, and I didn't mention this earlier because there was a lot going on. On here it has public hearing, administration proposal read, intent to exceed certified tax rate. I think it just needs the public hearing. We can call it Amendment 1 or Mayor's Amendment or something, but I think that's just a lot and a little, a bit much to have that on there like that. So if we can just have public hearing, mayor's proposal or something like that, I think that's reasonable. This is a.
Mr. Attorney, do you have an opinion on that?
Well, right now, you have not set the certified tax rate, so that's the reason you do sort of need to include that here.
On the public hearing part?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Because
all right.
it's, the current rate for the area by the assessor is $155.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Madam Chair.
All right, Madam Vice Chair.
No report, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, council, we have reached the end of our business and the time when we are happy to recognize persons who are here and wish to address the council. If you are here and would like to address the council, please line up behind the podium and listen while our attorney reads the rules.
Yes, ma'am. At the end of each council business meeting, the chair will recognize members of the public who wish to address the council, and here's your rules. Each speaker wishing to address the council can only be recognized at the microphone up front for that purpose. You can't have more than 3 minutes to speak, and you can address the council only upon matters within their legislative and quasi-judicial authority and not on matters which are not under their authority or regulated by other governmental bodies or agencies. Do not engage in vulgar or obscene language nor use the floor to personally attack or personally denigrate others, and address your comments to the council as a whole and not towards individual council members. Lastly, do not engage in disorderly conduct or disrupting a public meeting which is prohibited by Tennessee law. And someone commits that offense if a person substantially obstructs or interferes with a meeting by physical action or verbal utterance with the intent to prevent or disrupt a lawful meeting or gathering. Having stated those rules, please go ahead, ma'am.
Good evening. My name is Sabrina Daniel, and I'm a retired teacher administrator. My phone is 423-693-5600. I live at 4410 Maryland Drive, and I am a concerned citizen.
And
Thank you.
Do you know what district that is?
No, I don't. I'm sorry.
You don't? Okay, so we've got the address and our clerk can do that. Okay,
Thank you for the time, energy, and effort in looking for a compromised budget, considering taxpayers and the salaries of our essential services of fire and police. I support a compromise. The subject for me today is extremely necessary considerations for developmental approval. Evidently, when developers have approached Chattanooga, the following questions don't appear to be considered. 1, what kind of a city do the citizens want this to be? Fabulous quality of life versus mindless development for more tax dollars. Is this a safe area to develop? I shared this with the commissioner. One of them reminded me to think about safety. Do we have the water sewer systems to handle this development? Do we have the roads to accommodate this development so the traffic does not look like downtown Christmas traffic 240 work days a year? Do we have the schools to accommodate the students from this development? Does this enhance the beauty, quality of life in our city or detract from it? How much tax money does this actually bring in? City council friends, would you be willing to live next door to this development? There's been much recent development downtown. A friend asked me, where's all this tax money gone? Thank you for listening and getting accurate data before making critical decisions which affect all of us, considering quality of life, becoming the city we want, and developing as we should. It does not have to be one or the other. Sincerely, Sabrina Grace Daniel, a concerned citizen.
Thank you. Do you have anyone else who'd like to address the council tonight? Come on up.
My name is Christine Nguyen from District 9, and in the next 3 minutes, I want to throw out some numbers to illustrate how Mayor Kelly's fiscal decisions manufactured a crisis that's now forcing you, the council, to choose between taxing working families or underfunding essential services. Since 2021, Kelly increased executive spending 210%, from $2.1 million to $6.5 million, adding 11 senior positions earning between $126,000 to $147,000 annually versus $40,000 starting salaries for first responders. He eliminated 29 lower paid positions, but created 32 new ones in technology services alone. 3 expensive housing directors couldn't prevent 80% housing price increases while wages rose only 23%. He expanded communication staff for political spin. They're calling the proposed 1.99 tax rate a historic tax cut while omitting that state law mandates just 1.55. The city filed an intent to exceed the certified tax rate, proving they knew this wasn't the tax cut they're advertising to constituents. This deceptive messaging erodes public trust and shows these positions serve politics over governance. The mayor has committed over $500 million to development projects that includes $112 million stadium exposure and $115 million TIF over 20 years, while families face a $400 annual tax increase for basic services. Chattanooga was already thriving. Volkswagen's $3.5 billion investment in 4,000 plus jobs, Innovation District's $865 million impact, Chamber exceeding goals 3 years early by 2020, all prove that the mayor's deals were not necessary catalysts. Additionally, extensive research shows publicly funded stadiums provide poor returns. 83% of leading economists agree that subsidies exceed any economic benefits. That $227 million could have created 2 to 3 times more jobs through direct small business support instead of subsidizing private development that may never materialize. We've also added a historic amount of debt service for the city to bear. Kelly's administration saw 1,628 voluntary terminations in his first term. That's 76% of departures over both Burke terms. He built top-heavy bureaucracy with outside consultants while frontline staff left due to low pay, intimidation, and operational chaos, costing taxpayers in hiring, training, and disruption. Now departments and council people scramble to justify why operational budgets shouldn't be cut while administrative bloat goes unquestioned. How can we trust the administration's budget justifications given their proven mismanagement and manipulation of facts? This isn't just about a tax rate, it's about whether you'll give Kelly a blank check to continue this mismanagement. Passing this increase without demanding administrative cuts and accountability measures ensures he can keep wasting taxpayer dollars.
Thank you. Ms. Lund, thank you.
Hello again. Keith Laws, Chattanooga Firefighters Association. Station serves in District 6 and also butts up against District 5. I'm going to read this time because I wandered last time. Budgets are about priorities, and priorities are sometimes in the eye of the beholder. Each one of the 9 of you may have different priorities and that are equally important to each one of you. I appreciate this council's intent to give fire and police the needed raises they have asked for. What worries me is that government still needs funded. My worry is that if the remaining services are not funded or cut, it could affect the amount of raise that is available for the members of this fire department. As Police Chief Chambers stated a couple weeks ago, the amounts that have been requested brings us to the bottom of what is competitive with similar departments, and that does not leave a lot of wiggle room. I trust the amounts will not be altered, but that's a lot of trust. And I wrote that in like bold capital letters, like that's a lot of trust. I have no reason to not trust the Kelly administration. Honestly, they have delivered on every reasonable request that we have had. However, I do understand the way of the world, and I don't want to see any unintended consequences. If those numbers are altered or lowered, you will spend millions of dollars and see absolutely no return on your investment. People will still leave for higher paying departments, and people will still retire at their first opportunity. The number that worries me the most is 176. That's 37 existing vacancies that we already have, along with 139 members that will be eligible to retire in the next 5 years. That is 40% of the Chattanooga Fire Department. Granted, we will hire people along the way, but that's 40% of our senior leadership. Passing this raise could have that senior leadership stick around for at least another 6 years. That'll give us time to train the newer firefighters coming up. I'm 52. I have a lot of 20-year-olds that work for me. I don't want a truckload of 20-year-olds rolling up on to the fire that my family's in. No offense, they're going to do great work, but decision-making sometimes needs to be made. So I winged that part, so I didn't read that part. Councilwoman Dolly, you spoke earlier about the ISO 1 rating in the work session in there, and how not adding ladder 21 to the budget could affect, in the East Brainerd area, could affect that rating, and that is a concern. But the real concerns are staffing. The staffing of the existing fire companies are the bigger concern and could fall below a critical level. Staffing is more important and should not be able to add, more important than not being able to add fire companies. We'll have to brown out stations. That means that we'll have to shut down stations for sometimes 1, 2, 3, or 4 days. And that will affect the safety of our communities.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hold on just a second. Council, do we have any questions? I have a question. I'd like to get a little bit of clarity. When Chief Hyman talked about ladder 21, he said that that was a critical need, that you needed 15 staff and the appropriate equipment and rig. And when I spoke with then interim Chief Knowles, now Chief Knowles, he said that that was very important and provided me the numbers for that, which I brought to council last week. When I look at Mayor Kelly's, and then Budget Chairwoman Dotley brought up the fact that she's concerned about the ISO rating, and thank you for the clarity that the ladder 21 isn't directly tied to the immediate concerns you have with our ISO. Is that what you're saying? It is not?
Somewhat, yes. So I've worked here for 18 years, and in those 18 years, our population's grown from 151 million to almost 200 million now, right? Or to 151,000 to almost 200,000 now. In that time, we've added 1 fire company. Mm-hmm. We've just been splitting companies or splitting personnel to staff new stations.
Okay, so
that's my biggest concern.
Okay, so what I don't see in the $1.99 proposal from Mayor Kelly is the ladder 21 company or the rig for that.
I thought that it was in there. I think that's a question for Kevin, but.
So following last week's, Kevin Roy's Chief Staff, following last week's session with you guys, we did update the numbers and the line items to be able to, one, plus up the previously set aside dollars for a fire truck from 1.1 to 1.6. And then we added the Station 21 at 4 million. And then we took off Berkman, took off Monday, adjusted some other numbers, and we had to eliminate the transfer over to the police and fire pension fund to make it all still balance at the 199, but we wanted to incorporate the feedback that you guys had given us last week. So it is in there.
Will you please send us a new itemized list of the 199? Thank you very much. That's all my questions, but Councilwoman Dotley has her light. Let me turn it over to her.
Yes, so thank you so much, Keith, for that, and thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to briefly state, as I stated earlier in our budget session, if you're browning out stations, it better not be not a station browned out in District 7. I just wanted to state that on the record, and hopefully between either one, somewhere in there, hopefully, hopefully Madam Chair will get that information from administration that we can get shared, or through the Councilman Henderson's and Councilman Davis's legislation and Madam Chair's legislation, amended budget, that somewhere in there we can see that, because again, that if something's going to impact homeownership insurance, that is going to be a big one, and we don't want to wait. We already got to wait 600 days to get it, so we want to make sure that we are addressing that in either one of those. So that is just my statement. So thank you so much, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
And for the record, Local 820 is very much in favor of ladder 21. So.
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
Hold on just one second. We've got Councilman Henderson as well.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Keith, I don't, I'm a little confused. I mean, we were first told the number was 18 million, then we were told the number was 24 million for salaries, 9 million for police and 14 million for fire. Are you telling me now that that's not enough to effectively stop brownouts?
No. I'm saying, and it's just like Chief Chambers said, that the money requested was money that wasn't deemed to be absurd or overly,
I totally agree with that. My only concern was from what you addressed tonight. I believe something's going to be passed up here that's going to give fire $14 million.
And I think that was the concern of my statement, was that
something's going to be passed.
Good.
Let me just say, something's going to be passed that's going to give fire $14 million.
Right.
I think we can all agree on that.
Okay.
So you're still talking about brownouts, and I'm trying to understand if you're just concerned that we're not going to pass the 14 million. Does the 14 million keep us from having brownouts?
In my opinion, it does.
Okay,
then
we're good.
Yep. I hope we are. Thank you, sir.
We're good. Something's going to be passed to give you 14 million.
Councilman Harvey.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Since Station 21 is in my district, I do have a question. Maybe that's for Chief Knowles or Kevin or someone. I've heard a few numbers circulating that. What do we know the amount of money that we need to take care of Station 21?
About $4 million total. That would get the 1.7 million, 1.6 for the truck, about $100,000 worth of new equipment that would go on that truck, and then the 15 personnel to staff it. 3 captains, 3 lieutenants, and 9 firefighters.
So total 4 million?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
A little bit of equipment for the station beds to accommodate the extra 15 personnel and things like that, but that should be right around there.
Okay, thank you, Chief. That's all, Madam Chair, thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Clark.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I want to echo something Councilman Chip Henderson said, and something will be passed for fire and police, and we know that, but to Keith, correct? So one key element I want to reiterate in something you said was that we still have other city services. We run other services outside of fire and police. And I need, to your point that you said was, yes, something will be done for fire and police, but not at the detriment of other departments. Like we can't take care of fire and police and then something else we got to come back and fix next week or next year. Like we have to start thinking logically on a macroeconomic level, because of course we want to help fire and police, but not at the detriment of public health, community development, wastewater, the other services that you guys get to enjoy other than fire and police. So I just want to reiterate the point that you said that didn't get caught, was that yes, we want to do something for fire and police. All of these proposals will, but keep in mind that we also have other city services that other people work in, other than fire and police, that we don't want to cause a detriment towards. That is responsible governing. So I just want to, people are commenting to what you said, but they forgot that part. So I just wanted to reiterate that. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Is it my time?
Looking fabulous, yes. Go ahead.
On a lighter note, I want to invite you to continue my
Will you say
celebration.
your name and district for the record, please?
Janice Gooden.
Thank you.
I'm in the Riverside, Amnicola area of the Great District 8.
Yes.
My name is Janice Gooden. And I want to invite you to continue my celebration of my 74th birthday.
Oh.
My first request is that you not sing. Thank you.
I second that motion.
I happen to share a birthday with Julius Rosenwald, who was born in 1862, passed away in 1932. He was a philanthropist that partnered with Booker T. Washington
and they built schools throughout the South, over 5,000. And I think that there is a need to continue to have partnerships, philanthropy, private, public partnerships. I went to one of the Rosenwald schools, and that was Roland W. Hayes, which the building is at the corner of Riverside Drive in Crutchfield. So on another note, I want to mention that I reached out to Jeremy last week to follow up on something, and before I got home, I had a response to my email, and he's doing a great job. Okay, my last ask is that you give some consideration to the time of the second meeting, the business meeting, for city council. Even though I have time freedom, I'm flexible with my schedule, but people that work would like to be here. But, you know, it's kind of confusing not knowing what time the next meeting is going to start. So I want you to give some consideration to that. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else here who'd like to address the council? Council, it looks like all right, we are adjourned. Thank you, darling. Oh, y'all, Councilman, are you okay? All right, good.
What happened? What happened?